like a year ago. But she went on her Europe trip with a friend, single friend, 2 weeks ago. I found out after looking through her phone that she slept with a random dude. Her last weekend there. Uh, with her friend and the stranger's friend also in the same bed. So
Like actually
one time
slept or like had sex?
had sex, like sex and slept in this, like they fucked on the same bed, and then you know, yeah, basically both of them just two random dudes in the hotel room of those two random dudes. So it's been pretty tough because obviously I wasn't the one who brought it up to be serious. She wanted to have a serious conversation, wanted to be my girl. I told her I had to see certain things. Now I'm in this position where like I'm not really sure where to go from here. Obviously, I could have cut it off with her, but I also she she wants to like make it up to me, and I don't really know if I should try to kind of manipulate the situation and get something out of it. Like she's just wanting to understand like how do I go about it, given that it was a pretty aggressive thing to do, but we weren't necessarily in a relationship.
Well, so when you say you were taking her serious, so she wasn't exactly your girlfriend.
So yeah, we used to be in a relationship last year, and then we rekindled in May,
So
and she is
so this
yeah.
happened when you. So if you were in a relationship, she was your girlfriend.
Well, we were. She wanted me to be exclusive, and I told her I wouldn't be until I saw certain things.
Okay,
And
which is good.
we had other issues. So obviously, she wanted the job before she qualified for it, and I was just like, no, like there's all these different things that I don't really approve of or
Okay. So
support.
so my
Yeah.
my my question to you is when this thing happened when she slept with the other guy,
Mhm.
um, which is still bad either way, but were you guys in a relationship or no? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, no. So you guys weren't in a serious relationship when she did that. So I mean, I guess generally, I guess how it would look. Oh, you guys weren't together, but at that time, she wanted to take you serious, correct?
Yeah, she wanted me to take her serious. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So automatically, when you're like, I guess I want to say courting or um,
Mm.
willing or filtering that filtering process, which is basically the talking process, which is why you never just
Mm.
wife girls. You don't just jump into relationships. So she
Yeah.
definitely failed the filtering process because
Yeah.
you have to understand that a woman that's considered high quality, we judge them based off morals and ethics. A woman that's high quality isn't going to go sleep around with somebody else when you are in the talking phase. That's just not an ability of those. The girls that are sleeping around with other people, we don't wife them. And if you get access to the knowledge that they did, she automatically doesn't qualify for that position. Now, some guys will still wife these girls, but you're going to run into problems later on down the line because somebody who's begging you to take you serious, but will still go sleep with somebody else when they're away on a trip, that's not somebody who you can take serious. And that's somebody that I wouldn't suggest you ever take serious. And
Yeah.
so she definitely fails for that. So she definitely disqualified herself from ever being your kind of girlfriend
Yeah.
because there are girls that will wait. There are girls that just the girls that just don't have that in them to do that. These are the kind of girls who you want to, ultimately like put in that position of being a wife. So as far
Mm.
as being your girlfriend, never. I would say never put her in that position. Now,
Yeah.
if you're just dating girls or if you have a rotation of girls and you want to throw into that, okay, cool, you can do
Yeah.
that. But she's disqualified herself. So I would say never put her in that position ever,
Yeah.
ever.
I'm aligned with you. I'm aligned with you on that. I guess my question is like, I can't but help but feel kind of want like, revenge. Like, and I don't know. She's been floating some crazy shit to try to keep me around, and I don't know if she'll actually do it. But I guess is it
She's been
worth it?
what?
Like she basically offered that she would find another girl for me, and we can. It offered me threesomes and shit like that, and I don't know if it's like I don't know.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
just like
well,
I told her that's what I
well,
told her that's what I.
well,
For
yeah.
one, I
Well,
was
look,
so pissed about it that I told her like being it's super out of pocket, like, oh well then I want you and a friend if you're gonna go do shit with your I guess like the psychology of it for me is like I'm having a hard time because it's like her friends are also involved. So I'm just not really sure like, you know,
okay. Well,
it's
look,
just yeah.
well, look. So I get it. And I actually have a client. One of my number one clients is actually going through a little situation like this. And I get it, and I understand your frustrations, and I get where you're coming from. What I would suggest is, obviously, if you're on Patreon, you can just study the content. But
Yeah, of course.
I would suggest, what you need is like the rotation course. I mean, I wouldn't. You could just study the content, but obviously, on Patreon, everything is dispersed all over the place. It's like a library. But one thing that I expand upon is you basically just put her into rotation. Obviously, and I get it. Maybe there's still some feelings there. Obviously, there's some frustration. But as far as taking her serious, never that. But I would say, yeah, take advantage of that opportunity. Take advantage of that opportunity. Does she know that you know about the situation that happened overseas?
Yeah, she knows. I called her out on it, and she's super embarrassed, felt terrible, blah blah blah. Tried to gaslight me, saying like she had doubts about the relationship, blah blah blah. I was just like, that's still not a valid excuse. I kept my cool though. I didn't show no, I didn't like lose I obviously hit her with the zingers and like told her like how fucked up she was for doing that shit, and how like she kind of threw away a lot. I'm in the middle of like starting my own thing and raising a lot of money for it, blah blah blah. So she knew that I was stressed and like working on a potential future with her. So I think the one thing I guess wanted your wisdom on was just like, regardless of what if she tries to make it up to me through some sort of
I get what you're saying.
shit,
definitely.
How do I?
What you do, you take advantage of the situation. I don't want to say too much on what exactly you should do, but what I say is, sell dreams, just actually never get it, and take advantage of everything. Lead her under the impression of something else, but then actually, have your own agenda in mind. But just know that relationship, she'll never get it.
Got it. And then as far as like her friends go too, I think like one of the things that really just peeves the shit out of me is like her friends are all singles, fuck, mid to later 20s, and it's like they're running obviously out of time, and I think there's a lot of resentment and bitterness because obviously they are just single girls and they're always influencing her about shit with me. And obviously she's in the same room doing this shit with one of her core best friends, and so I'm just like, part of me wants to be like, look, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, sure, I can like keep you around, but like you can't be friends with this person. Is that like, or should I just kind of let it go and just I don't know. What's your opinion on dealing with these friends?
Well, I mean, ultimately, and this is a core belief that you need to have is your ability to walk away needs to be number one, right? Obviously, from what I'm hearing, obviously you have some type of care for this girl, especially if you're worried about her friends. But ultimately, if I just told you that she disqualified herself from ever being a girlfriend, ever being taken serious, you need to understand that at some point, if it calls for you walking away, you need to not hesitate on that, because there's no point of this ever going anywhere. So now, as far as her friends and her suggestions and her influences coming from her friends, ultimately you really shouldn't care. But like I said, if we're taking advantage of the situation, if you want to say, I don't like what your friends are doing, I think you should not listen to your friends. Or if you say, I think you should give up this, or I don't want to hear about your friends, I don't like this with your friends, if you ever want to be serious, I don't like this friend, I think you should get rid of it. If you want to take everything and give her nothing, that's fine. You can do that because you did mention, that's fine too. But ultimately, usually when you do a certain thing, feelings proceed. It's kind of like that thing where it's like, if you say a lie long enough, you'll start to believe it. And I think if you care enough to say and talk about her friends, ultimately your feelings will follow. So you can have an agenda, but you can get caught up in, playing detective and being undercover, right? And being covert with your intentions. So ultimately, I think that if you start to worry about her friends, you keep talking about her friends, ultimately your feelings are going to follow and you're going to lose sight of your agenda. And I would also suggest, finding someone else to take a lot more serious for that number one position while you're still doing this, so you don't get blind and lose track of your agenda in this in particular situation.
Cool. Yeah, I guess she's talking a big talk, trying to keep me around. So I'll just see if she follows through, and then obviously I'll take a step back emotionally and just make her keep wanting more, essentially, and sell the dream, like you mentioned.
Exactly, and that's ultimately the only thing to do with it. Only thing I say is just don't get caught up and your feelings, because at some point you need to separate and use that time with her to, like kind of like, extract your emotions. And I understand, if we're being realistic, that's not the easiest things, but you need to start doing that. Because if somebody shows you that at the beginning, they have the potential of doing it again, especially if they think that you will never find out. So, and ultimately that's a person you'll never trust, because it's like, even if they do something like that and you guys weren't together, you ultimately, if you guys are together and if she's alone, you're going to have this anxiety and you're going to be like, well, what the fuck is she doing? She didn't tell me that time, so she could do it again and I'll never know. And then you come into this place where you start displaying insecurities because of that one incident. And
I think that, I was just going to say, I think that's like my biggest issue is I feel like it's really getting to me, and I really hate that it's like taking a huge hit to my ego. So I think one thing where we left it off was, we hung out the last 2 nights working through it in quotes. I would say never really got very far, just her making me promises. But I think I told her, like, I really don't want to see her for like a week or two,
Right.
and she's going to be gone anyway. So I told her we shouldn't talk while she's gone. She's going to be with family for like 10 days. So I figured I would ask, like, when the time comes and she reaches back out, when she's back in the city, I'm in New York, by the way.
Mhm.
Like, do I just like refuse to ever talk about it and just tell her, like, you told me these things that you would do for me, and like that's it, and I'll talk to you about. I like promise to talk about it later. I just feel like every time we talk about it, it goes down a rabbit hole, and it actually exposes the insecurities that I have about the situation.
Yeah, and that's never good. You don't want to, because ultimately you talking about it with her, it's almost like confiding with your feelings. Now, when you're in relationships, the lines get blurry. There's no exact handbook to go by. So some things may work, some things don't. Now, I would never say confide in a woman when it comes to your emotions, because ultimately you take the risk at turning her off. We know that women say, oh, we want to see your emotions, I want you to express yourself. That needs to be, taken with half a grain of salt, because we know that confiding will ultimately turn her off. So if you have an agenda and you want some type of revenge, or you want to get back some type of way, take everything and give her nothing, you'll fuck around and turn her off, and she'll fuck around and leave you if you start confiding. So confiding, no. But now this is real specific. There's a difference between confiding and guilt tripping, right? So now if you're guilt tripping and saying, oh, well, you did this, so it's kind of hard to trust you. So that would look, and this is too much sauce that I'm giving, because like, because I'm like kind of live here too. So this is a lot of sauce. But I want to give you the best advice because you're a Patreon member. But no,
thank you, man.
So it's kind of like confiding is expressing, and like, damn, like how you're talking to me now. It's like, I feel this way and I don't know how to deal with it. But what you're more or less talking about is guilt tripping. So it's like, if she goes away and she comes back, she'd be like, oh yeah, like, why are you being so distant? Why didn't you talk to me? Honestly, I don't know. Who knows what you were doing? Did you fuck another guy? Like, throwing that out there. And obviously it's an insecurity, but you're not going in about it. It's slick little comments here and there. It's like kind of like, yeah, I'm thinking about it, but I really don't give a fuck. Oh, how many guys did you sleep with? Oh, you're making little joking, slick remarks about it, but you're not necessarily delving into it. You say it and then you leave it alone, switch the topic as if like you really don't care, but it obviously is something on your mind. Now, obviously it's an insecurity, but the way it's coming off, it's like, damn, like you're guilt tripping me, or like, damn, you make me feel bad, or it's like, damn, like that really does bother him, but that's more or less what you want to do. But confiding in her, talking about your problem.
Should I do the guilt tripping thing more? I guess like I almost like, I think like the incident, I think there's the incident itself, and then it's the fact that her friend was involved in the same room. Like I looked at the messages, it was like they were doing it in the same bed, right? So it's like,
what is like a threesome or something?
No, it was like 2 dudes, 2 girls, and she's the girl with her best friend. So it's like both of them at this, and they were just like, she was saying it so nonchalantly in her group chat, like, yeah, I fucked this guy, I'm the same bed, it was okay, like shit like that. So I read all that. So it's definitely like fucking with my psyche, but like to that point, I just don't want that to be exposed, right? So I don't want to, I guess, like when I bring it up, do I bring up the incident, or like do I bring up the friend thing? Like, I guess, should I just never bring it up unless she brings it up, and then I like basically refuse to talk about it and just to the guilt trip thing.
I mean, you shouldn't talk about it too much, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not something you want to be excessive. Like I said, if you do anything, a slick little comment here and there, but you don't want to be excessive in it. Because excessive, like I said, it starts to come to a point of exposing yourself. You know, and at some point it comes to, like, you know, showing vulnerabilities, and obviously that really did bother you. And then also, you know, at a certain point, it can get annoying for her too. And she can come to the point like, oh my God, this is fucking annoying. All you do is complain. Like I don't want to deal with this anymore. I can't deal with this. Like, I've seen it happen. Like, I've seen it happen to one of my clients recently that I was just telling about. You know, his and this was a little bit of a different situation. They were together a lot longer, and he did way more shit to, like, you know, cause anxiety. But you can push her to the point where it's like, I don't want to deal with it anymore. You know, fuck it. Like, you know what? Forget it. This is not worth it. So that's why I said, don't be excessive in it. Don't always talk about it. Don't bring up detailed situations unless you guys are indulged in a conversation where it is required and you guys are like really getting specific on things. And even in that, you don't want to bring that up all the time. Like I said, a smart little comment here and there all the time, but don't go excessive in it, and don't bring it up all the time. And honestly, and I can see you're still really involved and invested in the situation, but like I said, you need to work towards, like, pulling out
indifference.
No, not just indifference. Indifference is different. I'm talking about extracting your feelings. Work on getting over, like, what a lot of women will do. They'll break up with their boyfriend, and then they'll be like, oh, you know, I'm gonna break up with you, but like, they're not gonna say that. They're gonna say, let's go on a break, and they'll still talk to him every day. They might still have sex with him here and there, but in the meantime, they're working on his replacement. You need to do that same thing, because by the way you're talking, you're really, really invested in this situation, and I think you're a little too invested.
Got it. Yeah, I'm on it. Thank you so much.
No problem. Okay, so that's one guy. But if you guys are on if you're on Patreon, join Patreon and get your questions in. That was a really, you know, in particular situation. And you know, it kind of sucks because I hear these kind of things all the time with you guys, and guys going through these situations with girls on vacation, and it takes a toll on me sometimes. And sometimes I have to separate myself, because it's like, at least separate myself from these type of situations, because it's like, I hear so many situations where girls are cheating, girls get caught cheating, girls are doing some shady, shiesty shit. And then I kind of like take frustrations out on whoever I'm talking to, right? Because it's like, yeah, that's some real shady shit. I don't trust it. But then it's like, I have to separate myself and understand I did a very, very good job at filtering the woman out that I'm taking serious. So it's like, the girl that I'm dating would never do something like that. And they're very involved in communicating and talking to me and just doing certain things. But what I can say is, hearing situations like this a lot will definitely take a toll on you. And it is a bit annoying sometimes. And I feel for you guys, truly. But hearing these situations over and over and over, oh my God, it takes a toll on me and how I look at situations, how I look at females. And honestly, I already, you know, trust is something that doesn't come easy to begin with. But I think that even like hearing these type of situations, it's like, oh my God, I give girls hell when it comes to commitment. Like, I don't even fucking, like, you know, trust is like, everybody gets like a half an atom's worth of trust until they can gain more, you know. So, you know, trust is definitely something that's earned, not given, guys. And that's why I say you should definitely, if you're intuitive enough to know when somebody's being different or acting indifferent or a little off, if you're not intuitive enough to know that, that's why I say it's okay if you're gonna go through her phone, just let her know, because you're doing that, you're gonna come off OD insecure. And coming off insecure is not something you want to do, because you put whatever situation you have at jeopardy, especially if you really like this girl and you want to take her serious. But that's why I said, you know, get the Cheaters Guides to iPhones, hit the link in the bio and download that PDF, because if you covertly, like we do in the School of Thought of Randy, what he does, he'll covertly go through a girl's phone and she'll never know. But there are certain hacks and techniques that you can find out what she's doing, what she's been doing, who she's talking to, and all the type of stuff that's going on. And you'll see if she's been loyal or if she hasn't been. And the cheaters guys, the iPhone is just not how to be a cheater. It's to catch cheaters also through the iPhone. So it's a really interesting hack and guide, and I advise you guys to go download that. If we got any more guys that have questions on the Zoom call, speak up now. Or if you guys have reoccurring questions, more questions, let me know. Remember, we're not answering anything in the chat, so don't ask questions in the chat. I'm really not even looking at that. It's the whole point of me being on Zoom. Guys, speak up. I don't understand why people on Instagram or fucking TikTok always ask me, what's my opinion on other people, bro? Like, stop asking me opinions on other people. Like, I don't, like, half these people I don't even know. I already said that Andrew Tate, he's cool. I don't have any problems with him. I agree with some of the stuff that he says. But, like, half of these people you guys are mentioning, I don't even know who the hell they are. Like, who are you even talking about? Like, why do you guys do that? You have the opportunity to ask me something that can help your life situation, and you want to ask me about other people. How do you join the Zoom? Well, if you want to join the Zoom, you have to be on Patreon. I put the link in Patreon. I'll be on here for another maybe 15, 20 minutes, just taking questions, question hour. You can also join YouTube too, if you guys have any questions. But yeah, that's the only way to join the Zoom is on Patreon. Maybe one day I'll make it public, but it's too many bots in the chat. I don't really want to make it public. I feel like if you pay for it, then you'll definitely actually value the questions being asked. So if you want to join the Zoom, just get on Patreon. I'll be up here for a little bit. Then I gotta hit the gym, get some motherfucking work in. I came on earlier thinking that we can get more people to speak. So guys, like I said, if you got questions, speak. I'm not really responding to the chat too much. See, this is a really good. See, this is right here. Somebody said on TikTok, everything you answer is pretty much on the podcast. It feels repetitive talking about the same shit. He said, does it feel repetitive talking about the same thing? It is extremely repetitive. But the problem is not everybody listens. And honestly, if you join the podcast, you'll have a solution to a lot of things. You won't have solutions to everything because I deliberately don't leave certain things on a podcast so you can get other information. But I don't know, for some reason, people are lazy. Honestly, I'm creating courses. The only thing that I would say that the main course that you would really benefit from is the relationship course, because things are in chronological order, and there are some things that I didn't mention on Patreon and the podcast that are on there. But just about everything else, you can benefit from just by being on the fucking podcast and on Patreon. A lot of the stuff you can benefit from, a lot of stuff you can put together. And this is why and if you can't, because every situation is a little different. And if you can't put it together, you can just get on a phone call and get a certain perspective on your situation. But he's right. A lot of the stuff is repetitive, but a lot of you guys are really lazy and you don't want to just go listen to the podcast. I get it. Some of the podcasts are half an hour long. Some of these videos are making 40 minutes long, but there's a lot of gems in there. And if you study it like it's curriculum, I promise you won't have any problems when it comes to being in a relationship. Because I feel like relationship dynamics is something that I'm an expert in. Honestly, I've been in so many fucking relationships that it's like talking about this shit is more than easy, right? Obviously, it takes a level of intelligence also, but some people just don't like to put it together. Some people don't like to do the math, but it's entirely too easy. Hold on, guys. 1 second. Let me just go grab my book bag. Don't go anywhere. we talking about? Guys on Zoom, if you got any questions, speak up.
All right, boss. Quick question.
What's the deal?
So I keep trying to tell the girls the fact that I want multiple wives. I'm not Muslim or anything, and every time they think I'm joking, or it ends up being a problem, how would you go about convincing women of that idea?
That's there are ways of doing it, and honestly, in today's society, I feel like it's one of the most difficult tasks. It is something that I'm figuring out myself too. I mean, I've got it figured out. Ultimately, the best way to do it, and the way that will give you least amount of problems, is having money. That's the first and foremost, right? Because a lot of women won't question you when you change their life. Like, for example, I have rich clients, right? And them building a rotation is the easiest thing in the world. For one, when I look at these guys and I see how they optimize on dating apps with just the images that they upload and the paradigm that they show, the reality that they have, and how much women want to be a part of that. Like, I'm telling you, like, I have one client who has on his Tinder, bro. This guy has like almost close to 10,000 likes now. And the things that he put up is like travel photos, images of his car, him on a private jet. Automatically, that's what most women want. Now, women understand that a lot of women are going to want that, and a lot of women are going to beg for that. Now, at first, he gets a little bit of adversity, but something that I taught him is say, well, what's the problem with it? I'll change your lifestyle. All you have to do, you don't even have to work eventually if you make it to, that realm of where you can be taken serious, right? So what they say is like, oh, wow, I never thought about it like that. So then once he starts to like, oh, what's your rent? 1,500? Oh, that's fucking, I wipe my ass with that. Here you go. Here's 1,500. I'll pay your rent. Matter of fact, here's your rent for a year. Girls, when they make it to that graduation round, because he was doing that from the jump, and I had to let him know that's not something you do for the jump. Make them work for that. So when they work for that, then they'll realize that, okay, well, now I'm a lot more grateful for it, and I want to take this serious because this guy just changed my life in a matter of seconds. So they're not going to question you being with other women. And they know if they violate that, all that shit is taken away. And that lifestyle that they can live when they're dating someone wealthy is night and fucking day. Night and day. Right? And he even told me one girl was lying to him, and it was like how, he was giving her certain money and her rent was a lot less than what she was saying, and he didn't even trip about it. I was like, no, that's something you should trip about. So I was like, you need to take that away from her. So I think you understand like what I'm saying. If you want multiple wives, like, definitely lifestyle is the big component, because when you want to take care of them, it's ultimately something that they're never going to question. Now, if you don't, you're gonna need some game, bro. You're gonna need some game. So my question to you is, how are you going about it when you tell them about this?
I mean, I'll just say it in a joking way, try to introduce it to them.
Right.
And then later on, I say it like in a more serious way. And that's when they always push back. Like, I'm not going to accept that. I won't tolerate that. You feel me? So it's like, I can easily cheat on a girl, have multiple girls, but it's just hard to get them to accept each other,
It is hard. I'm not going to lie. And I feel like, obviously, having game, I feel like if you're going to have multiple wives, ultimately, you're going to have to be able to take care of them, either way you look at it. Because that's the only thing that I find that's going to neutralize that. But now, as far as now is, you can keep them around. You can build the attachment. It's going to take time, but you need to do that in baby steps. Like you said, joking around it at first to introduce it is one step. Then there are a lot other steps. I would say look at the relationship course, because that will solve your specific problem. But in the meantime, make sure, and it gets expensive, especially, and that's a given. If you're going to be talking to multiple girls at once, I would say, You definitely can't do 50-50. Even if you do 70-30, right? 80-20, most of the time when you go out, you got to take care of it, because most guys nowadays aren't doing that. They believe in the 50-50. You pay sometimes, I pay sometimes. So you have to separate yourself amongst the few, right? You definitely got to make yourself busy, and you have to raise your value as a man, whatever that may be, whether that may be making more money, whether that may be even if it's having a better car than her, because it's going to be hard to keep a woman and then make her accept that you're going to have multiple wives if she feels as if she's better than you. And that plays on a woman's hypergamy. There's a lot of different components that go into it, right? You always got to be bettering yourself, even if you speak like a more than one language, you know, because that's the way women think. If I feel like I'm better than him, I'm not going to be with him, let alone let him have more than one wife, right? So ultimately, you want to start there, bettering yourself and the things to say. But just get the relationship course. It's not even expensive. It's like $40, like $37.99, $30, I forget, something like that. That'll definitely help you, but definitely bettering yourself and working on your pockets. It's not too much I can say because I'm also on live, so I don't want to give away too much game. If you message me, we can talk about it a little more. It's really a complex. It's a really complex thing, and I don't want to give myself up too much, because it's like a situation that, you know, I've been trying to figure out, and it's like I don't want to give up on it. At points in time, I have, but that's pretty much that for now. I can't really speak on it too much without giving away too many big sneakers, you know.
I feel you. Good looks. Good looks.
No problem, bro.
Hey, KB, what's up?
What's the deal, man?
So, how do you deal with a girl that has a girl best friend and she's with her, like, she wants to be with her 24/7? And do you recommend talking to a girl that has a best friend like that?
Marry her. Marry both of them, yo. It's so funny. I seen this clip. It was a clip on fucking TikTok. It was like how this fucking girl, it was like they were Russian, and the guy had a wife, and she's always hanging out with her best friend, and he didn't like it. So what he did was he married her too, and it kind of goes in with the last guy was talking about having multiple wives, right? So then she was upset. She came back, and he was like, "Hey, I want to introduce the world to my second wife," and he said, "You wanted to be with your best friend more, huh?" So he started. So he wifed her. Now I'm not telling you to go just mess with her best friend, but you need to. You ultimately, I think you need to be gaming her a little more, because if you can't separate her from her best friend, then she's basically, you know, that's basically an indicator that ain't much really going on with you, that she needs to separate from her best friend enough. How often do you see this girl?
No, it was just it was like probably like a couple weeks ago. At the time, I was seeing her like probably once a week, maybe around there.
Okay, once a week is not bad. There's nothing wrong with that. How often do you speak to her?
I was talking to her probably every day, and that's where I messed up at.
Yeah, I'm glad you know, because your value isn't there. She's not valuing you. You're always available. You're always there. You need to start changing that up, because if you're always available, you don't keep your value. You know, if you're like, you know, you go in the store and they say this is the last item of its kind, or this is the last two. Oh, that price, they can hike that price up just because, and they're definitely going to buy it right away, because it's valuable. It's scarcity. You need to put a scarcity on your attention. And that's another reason as to why, you know, she'd rather hang with her best friend so much. So you need to start switching it up a bit. Don't be so predictable. Kind of seems like she lost the chase.
Yeah,
unless she has like a lesbian relationship going on with her best friend. Maybe her best friend eats pussy better than you. Who knows?
Go both ways.
Huh?
I said she definitely did go both ways.
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
Well, that could be a possibility. Her best friend might be eating a cat a little better. That's crazy. Might be doing something a little better than you, but you can always neutralize that with the right type of game and anxiety. But yeah, I don't know, bro. You got a pretty tough situation on your hands there.
Yeah. At first, I was like, I definitely, because I didn't do anything with her. Like, I just, I just had started dating her,
Mm-hmm.
and at first I was like, I was creating anxiety.
Right.
She was always blowing up my phone, asking me if I'm okay. And then I think I let that get to my head, and I started showing a little bit too much. And I also told her my schedule, which I know you told us not to do that. So I messed up on that too. And yeah.
Telling her your schedule is crazy, bro. That you doing way too much. That's asking for problems. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be here at this time, be here at that time. So when you don't stick to that schedule, it's like, whoa, why are you not answering me? Where are you at? I know you're here because this is your schedule. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
You fucking up big time. You know you fucking up. You got a lot to work on. So, I hope you work on that. I hope you get that situation together because at least you know where your errors are. But you also need to take into the fact that, maybe she is, having some type of intimate relationship with her best friend, because you said she definitely goes both ways. You said you haven't done anything with her yet, right?
Yeah.
That's another thing to take into consideration. You haven't built any attachment. When you start to build the attachment, then we're talking a different ball game. And there's no best attachment like lovemaking. So, and I think that's one of the easiest ways to build the attachment besides consistency, being consistently inconsistent. But that's definitely one way of definitely doing it.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys. This is like 30 seconds left. Everybody in this chat, just rejoin it right away. I'm gonna put it back up, and we're gonna stay on for another 15 minutes, and then I'll get off. So I'm just gonna start a new chat right now. So if you guys get kicked off, just go back on Patreon and rejoin, and I'll answer a few more questions. That's crazy though. And that's, when I feel like, obviously I have a level of religiosity, so I think that girl that I marry, I would never marry. I don't think I would ever marry a female that is like bisexual, because that shit is crazy. Like I just like so many issues. I just like, give me a good girl. We saved the wifing for the good girls, man. That's why I give you guys a system to filter girls out, the ones that are good for you and the ones that are not, because bruh, like I would, it's just too much. If you're gonna be the mother of my child, teaching my kid that it's okay to mess with the same, I don't want to say too much because I'm on TikTok, I want to get kicked off, but yeah, no, you gotta understand your ideology and your thoughts are a big thing. That's why when it comes to choosing a wife, it is very crucial. Like those girls are fun to mess with, but as far as wifing them, it's a totally different ball game. Totally different. Totally different ball game, guys. All right, so we're back live. I always say I'm gonna do a certain amount of time. I always end up doing more because shit gets good hearing other people's issues. And I know you guys benefit from this shit a lot, especially if you're subscribed to YouTube, because this is gonna be live on YouTube. You can just always go. I feel like most situations are so repetitive. Like, unless you have a hard time searching through the catalog of videos, you're never gonna really have issues with questions. And I know I do this shit way better than other people as far as answering questions. But anyway, guys, so once again, if you guys got questions, ask your questions. I'm not answering anything in the chat, so don't put anything in the chat. If you want to speak, you got to speak up.
Okay, KB. So
what's the deal?
It's like, so like, how do you know a woman's like down to fuck? Because I feel like yesterday I could tell, but I could also not tell. So like, that's why I'm here. So she was like, do you want to come in? And I was like, yeah, sure. And she was like, lock the door behind you. But I didn't like, there was more to do. I just like needed some more tips, like, feel me?
So so you hanging out with a girl, but you're not sure if she was DTF?
Yeah.
Well, what made you so unsure?
Well, her sister was there. She had her shoes on still, and we got in the crib, and then her sister was there, and then she was like, you could check on my room and shit. And then she's like, I have to walk my dog. So I think I kind of like missed the opportunity. I don't know. I
I'm
feel
so
like I have to come
confused.
talk to you
So
about this.
you were in her room. She locked the door behind her, but her sister was also in the room with you guys.
No. We pulled up to her crib, and then she's like, "Do you want to come in or stay outside?" I was like, "All right, I'll come in." And then she's like, "Lock the door behind you." And I was like, "Okay." And then I thought it was just gonna be me and her, but she kept her shoes on, and her sister was in the house. And then she said, "Go to her room," right? But her sister was distracting her, and then she's like, "We have to go walk my dog." So I was like,
Okay, well, it doesn't sound like you missed an opportunity. So after you walked the dog, what happened?
I walked her home. I feel like I did miss an opportunity though.
But if she says go in the room, and then she says, "Oh no, wait, we have to go walk my dog," it sounds like something came up and there that evaded you going in the room.
All right, so like, you feel like everything I did was good though. Like I didn't miss an opportunity though.
I mean, there's not enough information on the story to tell you that you missed an opportunity. It looked like the opportunity never presented itself.
No, thank you, KB. See, this is why I come to you. You got all the sauce.
But like another thing is you have to either way you have to build the opportunity. Like one thing I hear a lot of guys saying, I even hear a lot of creators saying this too. And it goes to show you that they don't really understand. This is levels to this game shit. They don't really understand because they're like, well, there was just no connection with the girl. She didn't really she wasn't really showing me any signs. But what you got to understand, you have to build sexual tension, right? You build that. That's something. There are things like teasing and flirting that you introduce with the girl, which builds that, knowing how to embrace that awkward silence and turn that, and having that balance of comfort and making things sexual. That's something that you build. That's not something that, and I feel like an opportunity is like you're alone in a room with her and then boom. I feel like, that's a blatant opportunity without a girl just showing a girl's DTF without even having a gamer, or you guys are alone and she's like, waiting. But I don't really feel like I just feel like you didn't really have an opportunity that presented itself. I mean, you could create an opportunity, but I don't think it was really given from the information you're telling me, at least, anyways.
All right, thank you, KB. Thank you. But I also have another question.
Okay.
Is it bad that I'm 17 and she's 25? Is that bad?
You say, wait, you're 17 and she's 25?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not bad. It's good for you. Society's not going to condemn it. Now, if it were the other way around, they'd be calling you R. Kelly.
Yeah, I gotta thank you because this is all you. I've been watching you for a year now. I'm like, this just helped me, bro. Thank you.
No problem, man. No, I mean, it's not a bad thing, especially if it's obvious your dynamics and you're not in the friend zone. But don't be, just make sure because she's older that you don't fall into this place where you're taking a lot of orders. That tends to happen, with women in general. They tend to end up leading, and even with women, when there isn't even an age gap, just make sure because she's older, you don't fall into a place where you're following her lead, because long term that doesn't work. I see it all the time, especially with marriages.
All right, thank you, KB. Thank you. So
No
lead the relationship. Don't take orders from her.
Not necessarily. Like if it's something that you have no knowledge on, and because she's older, so she'll have a lot more experience. Let's use our brain. You don't want to be completely defiant, right? If it's especially if it's beneficial. But if it's always her choosing things, telling you what to do, like go to my room now. Oh, okay, yes, mommy. No, you know what I'm saying? You want to just be a man about things. So it's very crucial to a relationship. And usually when you don't take the lead on things, emasculation starts to happen on her behalf, and a lack of respect. So just make sure you in some situations they do work, but those exceptional. But like I said, just make sure when you're leading and it doesn't fall into a place where it's like you're being emasculated eventually. It's just something to take into consideration.
All right, thank you, KB. Thank you.
No problem. All right, guys, we're gonna be here for another like 10 minutes because I gotta get going to the gym soon. So if you guys got any questions, shoot now or forever hold your peace.
Hey, what's up, KB?
What's the deal, man?
All right, so I talked to this MILF, and
Okay.
He's like, so she has a boyfriend, but I met her. I used to work with her, and we got like close to work, and then I ended up leaving, and she got like sad and everything because I left. And then we've been talking almost a year now.
Wait, you're talking to a MILF and she has a boyfriend, you said, to make that clear.
Yeah,
And you said you left your job and she got upset that you left your job?
yeah.
Okay.
And that's when now we talk like she'll be like, I miss you. We need to talk, like we need to be together, like go out somewhere together and stuff like that. But she usually always busy because her kids, and stuff like that. And like she'll be like, she'll tell me I love you and I miss you and all this other stuff. And then I'm like how do I handle that? Like,
How old is this lady?
she's like 32, 33.
That's not necessarily a MILF, I guess. I guess that is. I guess that's fine. Maybe because I'm a little older. I'm 29, so I'm closer to that age. How old are you?
I'm 19.
Oh yeah, that's that's like a fucking decade and some change apart. And she has a boyfriend and kids.
Yeah, but she's not happy with her boyfriend right now. Well, for a while now.
I mean, if it ain't a husband, yeah, it's free smoke. It's free smoke, baby. Hey, honestly, she know what time it is. With older women, it's serious. I feel like as women get older, they get a lot more hornier and less reserved, from what I've seen.
Okay.
And she already wants you, so obviously how you're playing it is good. And gaming older women, the only difference between gaming older women is just a level of maturity. Obviously, if an older woman's talking to a younger guy, she's expecting, there's a certain expectation of certain things in dating a younger guy, right? Maybe because you're fun, maybe whatever you're doing is probably good, and it's probably what she's expecting from you. But honestly, it all depends on what you want. Now, if you want the kill, you want to clap the cheeks, all you have to do is just say, hey, let's hang out sometime. Now, because she has kids, she has a boyfriend, that may be a little hard for her. But she's still a grown ass woman, right? You guys can easily get a hotel, but that's not probably, you probably don't want to lead with that. But it's easy. All you have to do is flirt, tease, and just build sexual tension. Like, escalate things sexually, because she know what she's doing. She's 12 years your senior. She know what time it is. What she want with a 19-year-old? You can't do nothing for her unless you got some type of funds that I know about. If you working with her, ain't really much you could do for her. There's only one thing that you could deliver for her. So she know what time it is. All you got to do is, you don't want to be so blatant, but be a little bold in your flirting. A lot of eye contact, and just be a little flirty and touchy. Just escalate things, man. Honestly, it sounds like a real easy situation. She's kind of serving it up on a platter for you. All you got to do is get her alone. Sounds like you have a real ideal, easy situation going on.
And I also I use a lot of games. Sometimes I won't text her for 4 days, 5 days, and like when she texts me, she'll text me. I won't text her back for a while, and then she'll text me again like, "Oh, you don't love me no more." Like she'll do that like over and over. Like I literally just text her, and then I just go ghost for a little bit, and then I go text her again, and like she really wants my attention.
That's good. You're doing good. You're doing real good. But at some point, if you want to give her attention, and it's good because there's a scarcity on your attention, but at some point, if you want to get it, just give her a little more attention on what you're doing, and and go for the kill. But you just got to set something up. It doesn't sound like a hard situation. You just got to actually set something up. Be like, hey, let's hang out sometime, because you simply were saying, like, I do miss you, and I actually do miss you. We should hang out soon. And then actually plan it from there. Sounds easy. And especially if you're not texting her for days and she's still double texting. Oh yeah, she definitely wants it. She definitely wants it. She probably only wants it. Probably curious, and you created this sense of excitement and curiosity and mystery by not texting her for days. So easy. It sounds easy. Sounds like you got an easy situation. All you got to do is do it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, we're gonna go for here soon. So if you guys got to speak now. Forever hold your peace. I'm about to get off this mug. That's crazy. That's such an easy situation for boy. But anyway, sounds like you guys are done with questions. Anyway, guys, for that first guy, you definitely need that relationship course. Well, maybe him, and then the other guy who's questioning about having multiple wives. That would definitely help, because everything is in order for you. It'll tell you how to maintain them. But ultimately, if you want to make honest women out of them, you still want high quality women. The goal is to have an abundance, not only an abundance mindset, because obviously you're already there. You need to do the same thing with your pockets, because honestly, when I look at my rich clients, it's like night and day between them and regular men. It's like not even fair. It's like you guys don't even understand the life that you're living is almost dwarfed when you have money. Like these guys spending 10K a month is nothing for them. Like I said before, some of my clients make 400K a month. So when they tip me, and honestly, like it makes me want to raise my prices, but then it's like I have to think about the regular man, because that shit is not normal. And I know my information is so valuable, it should definitely be worth more. But ultimately, if you guys, I feel like the lesson of this, if you want to have a rotation, if you want to optimize and have multiple wives, I feel like having abundance is definitely the thing. And even in Islam, like I'm Muslim, I know a lot of guys are not religious or even Muslim, but it's a rule. Like in Islam, if you're gonna have more than one wife, you need to be able to take care of all of them on your own with no help. So either way you look at it, even if you're gonna do it righteously, you're gonna do it any other way. Having the money is definitely a thing. So abundance, guys, abundance. That's definitely the key. But anyway, guys, I gotta go to the gym. Gotta put in this work. I'm gonna holler at you. Make sure. All right, make sure you guys subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to the Patreon, subscribe, follow me on TikTok, Twitter. I'm also on Twitter. Yeah, I think my Twitter is True Nation something, True Nation like ENT or something like that. I'll be on Twitter a lot, but I'll just be looking. But anyway, download the relationship course. Well, not the relationship course. That's not out yet. The rotation course and the cheater's guide to iPhones. It's also in the bio. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. I'm gonna holler at you, and we're gonna start being more consistent with the podcast. The podcasts are back up. We got new episodes, and I'm out of here, man.